And following Phillip's bombshell departure from ITV's this morning, his long-term co-host and ex-bestie Holly Willoughby is coming under increasing pressure. Here's what her former colleague had to say in part one of my exclusive sit-down last night.
Not only should Phillip go, but Holly should follow him close out the door. I don't think you will ever see Holly Willoughby back on the couch. There are people who say this for her, it's not about what Phillip did. For her, it's not about protecting the young fella involved or whatever. There are people who are financial experts who will say this is about brand protection with her.
And just today, the Mail Online published photos that showed Holly embracing Schofield's young lover at the 2020 National Television Awards, where he had caused chaos by declaring his love for Phillip just 10 days before he came out as gay. So what do you think? Should Holly now be axed from this morning? Dan at gbnews.com. Vote in our poll at GB News on Twitter. But let's debate this now with the comedian Francine, the social commentator Joanna, Jarjue, and the former UKIP leader Henry Bolton. So look, Francine, let's just be honest. You're not a huge fan of Phillip. You've been on the show admitting that before when it wasn't a trendy thing to do. So you were very ahead of your time on that one, Francine. Good on you. But has Holly really done anything wrong? Does she deserve to be dragged down too?
Well, I have to say, I had a bad experience with the two of them. I would call them the gruesome twosome. It wasn't just Phillip. I had met Phillip in the late 90s. We just did a show called Talking Telephone Numbers together. He was the same then. I mean, he wasn't great with anybody when they came onto the show. As soon as the cameras were on, it was like, hi, you know, with this big smile. So I always found him very smarmy. And actually, when I first met him, I just found he wasn't good with people, and it always made me think, how is this man presenting all these shows? I assumed he has shares in ITV because he was doing all these shows. He's got no charisma and nothing about him that I think is at all watchable. And the same with her. I mean, she walks around with a halo over her head. She's not nice at all.
OK, so you say she should go?
100% she should go.
OK, Joanna Jarjue disagrees with you. Why, Joanna? Why are you saying that Holly deserves another chance?
Well, I mean, even the phrase deserves another chance for what exactly? Phillip has actually admitted that he's lied to everybody. So if he lied to his agents, his employers, his colleagues, his own wife for however many years about his sexuality, then what makes people think that it isn't possible that he also lied to Holly? I think that it's very dangerous to, for people to think that, oh, of course she knew. How do you know? There is absolutely no proof at this point that Holly knew. And actually, if it is a fact that she was another person that Phillip lied to, then she doesn't deserve to leave and lose her job.
Fair point, Henry Bolton, isn't it?
I don't think so, no. I also had a very bad experience with the two of them. It
What
wasn't
happened?
just Phillip. I'm not going to go and relive all that, Stan. People can look it up, whatever. But I had a bad experience with them. I found them both very hypocritical, Phillip particularly. And the thing is, Holly knows that. She was part of that team, part of the hypocrisy there. And Dan, I'm sorry, but if you just walk into that studio with the two of them on that couch, then it's exactly as just been said. Phillip walked in, nothing polite, no sort of greeting, no personality there whatsoever, and goes straight in to an attack, which now I know was entirely hypocritical, entirely. Now, I don't believe, being in that environment for a moment, that Holly was not aware of it. Phillip might have denied it to her, but she knew what was going on. I believe that. And here's the thing, Dan. Here's the thing, Dan. We some TV stations have built up this idea of building up a star, a celebrity star, and that person has often felt, because of the power and the status they've been given, has been really impregnable. They've felt the power, they've got the status, they can get away with almost anything. They're untouchable, and they feel that. And I think that it's not only about Phillip and Holly, Dan. It's about a bigger thing. It's about the power, and it's about what
Francine,
their role
you coming?
models.
Yeah,
and they're
well, I just
creating
feel
a generation
the
of
same as you.
narcissists.
When I walked in and had an interview with them, you know, they don't greet you. I mean, as I said, I've met Philip before. He never said, "Oh, hello, it's so good to see you again." I mean, these people to me are not stars. I mean, who is Holly Willoughby? She has no empathy. She has no compassion. She has no talent. I could do her job standing on my head.
But people have always loved her, though, haven't they? Joanna Jarjue, can I just ask you, though, Joanna, you must admit, having heard from Eamon, that this young man was being ferried in ITV cars after their Thursday playtimes together to the This Morning studios. It's unfathomable to believe that Holly had no idea that there was something going on. I mean, she met him. There they are together.
Well, I think that Holly is in a bit of a unique situation in the sense that she joined. This was basically her big break, wasn't it, this morning? I remember watching Holly as a kid on CITV. So I think Philip is clearly somebody who is very good at being a master manipulator to everybody around him. And I think very early on, he probably took her under his wing. And she basically believed everything that he probably said. And she defended him to the end, you know. She thanked him in her statement for, you know, his knowledge and his humour, etc., etc. And I do believe that she probably did ask him.
And Henry Bolton, look, I've got to put it to you. It wasn't ITV who got rid of Phillip Schofield this time around. It was Holly Willoughby. The only reason Phillip has gone from that sofa at all is because she finally put her foot down and told the bosses at ITV, I ain't working with that bloke anymore. So doesn't she deserve some credit for that, Henry?
But I think, well, you know, a smidgen, Dan, maybe. But look, this has been going on for a very long time, and she knew she was backed into a corner. She had to act, or the situation was going to run away. She was going to lose control of it. And, you know, it's not just Holly here that I would point the finger at. It's that whole culture. The whole culture that has allowed this to happen and has allowed two people, particularly Phillip Schofield, to be the influence and the role model that they became. And that is a highly negative influence. There are other people in the media, a handful of them, who I would say the same thing about. Bullies, narcissists, and exactly what you don't want as a role model for young people who are watching this. And, you know, there's a culture there, and that culture has to be removed. And whoever's involved in it, and I include Holly with that, because I don't believe for a moment that she hasn't known for a very long time what's been going on, then I think they need to go. And, you know, it's a rotten apple.
Okay, I understand both sides of this. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to Henry Bolton, Joanna Jarjue and Francine Lewis. But who do you agree with? Should Holly Willoughby be axed from This Morning? Well, Juniper writes, she's cozied up to Schofield throughout and deceived the viewers without a second thought, all whilst making millions on the back of a carefully crafted, wholesome image. Holly, the enabler, has to go. Ron writes, no, why should she lose her job because of her colleagues' behaviour? And from Sarah, I think if there were ever a time, it's now for her to speak up. The longer she keeps quiet, the more obvious it looks like she is hiding something. I do feel for her right now, especially as mother of 3 children. I hope she speaks up soon. And, of course, Holly's more than welcome to speak up on this show, just like Eamon has done previously. Your verdict is now in. Oh, goodness me. Goodness me, this is tough. 82% of you say that Holly should be axed from ITV. Just 18% of you wanting her to continue on the This Morning sofa. Goodness me. ITV executives not going to be happy with that result. They have a big problem.